Hey guys, Joe here from Wild Aquatics and Exotics. Welcome to the third video in our Getting Started series where we take you through the practical process of setting up your first freshwater aquarium. In the last video, we set up and filled the tank and we started the cycling process. If you missed that, be sure to check it out along with our other videos on basic fish keeping theory. In this episode, we're diving into what happens during the next couple of weeks of cycling and how we calculate when it's safe to add fish. If you've watched our previous video on the nitrogen cycle, you'll know that the goal is to cultivate the essential nitrifying bacteria in the tank. These bacteria convert harmful ammonia and nitrite from fish waste into nitrate, which is safer for your fish and plants. But the bacteria need time to grow, and that's what the cycling period is all about. One key thing to remember during the cycling process is to always add a dechlorinate to the water before it goes in the tank. Chlorine in tap water can kill the nitrifying bacteria and mess up your cycle. Just to recap, we've already decorated the aquarium, filled it with dechlorinated water and got it up to temperature, and then added the bacteria booster. Let's quickly talk about how bacteria boosters work. These products contain a mix of beneficial bacteria, primarily nitrifying bacteria, which are vital for your tank cycle. Follow the instructions on the bottle to ensure you're adding the right amount for your tank size. The bacteria will start growing by consuming ammonia and nitrite. However, in a brand new tank, there's nothing decomposing to produce ammonia. So, we need to add a source of ammonia, or a bioload, to feed the cycle. Without this, the bacteria you've added in the booster won't have anything to feed on and could starve and die out, delaying or stopping the cycle entirely. A good way to understand the cycling period is to imagine that you are preparing the bacteria in your aquarium for the stocking it will receive in the future. In the past, some people would add a hardy fish to the tank on day 1 to provide a bioload, but that's risky as the ammonia would spike during the cycle, which can harm and even kill the fish. Never use fish this way. The safest and easiest method is the Fishless Cycle. Simply add a pinch of fish food to the tank. The food will decompose and release ammonia, which will feed the bacteria. Just a pinch is enough, you don't want to overdo it. During the cycle, keep the tank lights off. There's no need for light right now, and leaving them on will just promote algae growth. It's also normal for the water to become cloudy during cycling. This is actually a good sign that the bacteria are blooming and doing their job. In the future, if your tank is mature and suddenly becomes cloudy, something might have caused a mini-cycle, so you should urgently test the water to find out what's happening. So let's get into what happens during the next few weeks. On day 1, you've added the bacteria booster and a source of ammonia, which is the fish food. So what happens next? You could just wait 2 or 3 weeks and hope for the best, but I recommend testing the water every 3 days. I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, it's important to understand what's happening chemically in your tank. You might even be ready for fish sooner than you think. Let's say, for example, on day 1, your water parameters are showing 0 ammonia, 0 nitrite, and 10 nitrate. In a mature tank this would be great, but as it's a brand new tank, it's an indication of very clean, uncycled water, as nothing has really started to happen yet. However, as the food decomposes, the ammonia level will start to rise. About a week later, the first nitrifying bacteria start to consume this ammonia, converting it into nitrite. So when you see nitrite levels rise, that means the bacteria are establishing themselves, and we're about a third of the way through the cycle. If you don't see much ammonia in the first week, it might mean that you didn't add enough fish food. Just add a little more and the cycle should continue. As the cycle progresses, you will start to see nitrite rising, and then later, more bacteria will start consuming the nitrite, converting it into nitrate. When you see a rise in nitrate, that shows that the final type of bacteria is working and you've nearly finished the cycle. If you test the water during the cycle and at any point notice ammonia, nitrite and nitrate levels are very high, it can harm or even kill the bacteria, so do a small water change to bring those levels down and keep the cycle moving smoothly. The last stage in the cycle is when the ammonia and nitrate levels drop to 0. At this point, you've got enough bacteria to handle the waste produced by your fish, so the cycle is complete. Remember, think of the cycling process like a traffic light system. Do not go if you see red ammonia or yellow nitrite, but consider nitrate increasing as the green light. Before adding any fish, do one last water test. Let's say, for example, the test results are 0 ammonia, 0 nitrite, but 40 nitrate. This means the ammonia and nitrite are gone, which is great, but the resulting nitrate level is getting too high. Although the bacteria have done their job, the resulting nitrate level will be too high for your new fish. So, perform a partial water change to lower the nitrate level to around 10 to 20 parts per million. This will give your new fish a better start. Also, you can add live plants at this stage, which will help you keep the nitrates in check long term, as the nitrate is a food source for plant growth. Now that your water parameters are good, you can head to the store and pick up your first fish and plants. remember to take it slow and don't rush the process. When you add fish to the tank, you increase the bioload, meaning more waste is being produced in the tank. If you add too many fish too soon, it could overload the system and cause ammonia spikes. This is especially true for larger tanks where you may plan to add large fish. In these cases, you might need to preemptively add a bit more bacteria booster gradually to handle the increased bioload in preparation. But since we're starting with a small tank and small fish, once the water change is done and your tests show everything is stable, you're good to go. That's it for today's video. In the next one, we'll include a beginner's guide to choosing and adding your first fish and plants to your aquarium. Thanks so much for watching, and please like and subscribe for future updates.